Well, you mentioned changing the topic away from the Epstein files. Let's change the topic to the Epstein files.
Sure.
All of this as this fallout continues to surround the president. Now, this week we saw the Deputy Attorney General spend 2 days interviewing Ghislaine Maxwell, who's currently serving 20 years for the role that she played with conspiring with Epstein in the sex trafficking of minors. Trump refused to rule out a pardon for her. What sort of a message would that send if he did pardon Ghislaine Maxwell?
You know, he sent her a couple of messages. One was by letting the Deputy Attorney General even go down there and spend time. You would never see this. This is so outside the norms of what the department would do. The Deputy Attorney General, his job is to oversee almost 120,000 employees. It's not to meddle in one particular case, and it's certainly not to go to a prison to interview somebody who's been convicted on sex offenses to try to carry the water for the president. It'll be interesting to see, and I would urge people to push to see whether or not we get a full recording or audio tape, videotape of this interview. Let's see what promises were made, what statements were made, both from the time they walked into the door to the time they left. Let's see what happened on the second day. Why did they come back for a second day? So there's nothing normal about what we're seeing, and I think this idea that there may be a pardon is sort of the president again sending a message. The Deputy Attorney General was really like his carrier pigeon, and now he just decided to do it on the airways in response to a question. The clear answer should have been no. There will be no pardon. But for him to somehow suggest that he hasn't thought about it, that's just nonsensical. And to try to get information from Maxwell about what somebody else may be doing, I mean, that's like going to get information from the big drug dealer to ask about who might be smoking weeds. I mean, this is sort of just to the point of being absurd. And the question will be whether or not, you know, it supports his political base, if it gives him any cover at all.
And speaking of that, it seems that the topic of the Epstein files is one thing that will not go away, no matter what side of the political aisle you're on. In fact, there's a recent Reuters Ipsos poll that 69% of Americans, including 62% of Republicans, his base, believe the government is hiding Epstein's alleged client list. How big of a problem is this for the Trump administration, this topic of the Epstein files that will not go away?
It's a big deal both politically, but also really from a legal standpoint, it's a big deal. It's a big deal because his own attorney general has said that his name is in the file. I mean, and that's a big deal. And he's denied that. But she has now apparently said he's in the file. We don't know in what way. We're not suggesting in some way that, you know, he's in there as a client or otherwise. But we know he's in the file. And we know for some reason there's this hesitation and this sort of insistence to push this away. He didn't want to get into it despite the promises he had made to reveal everybody that had been involved in the case. And so typically when somebody's trying to cover something up, or hide something, that means that there's something to hide. We don't know what it is yet, but it's there. So that can be a problem for him legally. I just don't think that he's got, his base has the political will to necessarily give him a pass on this. He's made a complete buffoonery of this process, both from what he said and how he's handled it and trying to push it away. The simple thing to do would just be to come in and get somebody that both sides can agree on, get a Democrat and a Republican to come in the room and say, okay, y'all go through the file, present everything you want to present, here's everything you can have. But to do these sort of secret meetings with the officials from the Justice Department to come in now and say, well, there's nothing there, even though they walked him out on the sidewalk with big notebooks showing that this was Epstein Volume 1. That's if you believe that.
I think it was notable, too, that the Manosphere, like podcasters, comedians on the, ultimate right, they were questioning